Hello, Giants fans. Welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. The Giants beat the Guardians 6-5 today in 10 innings, so they've taken this series on their second extra inning win of this week. They did it in extras on Monday, and they did it again today, and it culminated in a 2-1 victory in this series with this 6-5 win on a walk-off in 10th they got today. It comes at a time when the wild card race is just as tight as ever. I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but first I just want to try to go over everything. And Kyle Harrison started. He pitched 4 innings. He allowed 5 runs. 3 of them were earned. Alex Wood came in for a long relief outing, pitching 4 scoreless innings after that. And then in the 9th, Tyler Rogers came in. He got a couple of outs, but Camilo Doval ended up relieving him. Doval pitched an inning and a third, including the high leverage top of the 10th with the automatic runner on everything. So it was a really good job by Doval to get the Giants set up to win it. And then in the bottom of the 10th, Lamont Wade Jr., who hit the walk-off single on Monday, this time it was a sacrifice fly that he hit at the bottom of the 10th to get the winning run home and take the series for the Giants. So they win 6-5, and currently they are tied with the Marlins for being half a game in back of the final National League wildcard spot, which is being held by the Diamondbacks and the Reds in a tie. So that should just, I think just looking at that picture here, it clearly shows us how close this wildcard race is. It always has been. It's been that way this year, and we certainly saw at the trade deadline. There was a reason why there was so little available talent. I'm not saying that makes anything that the Giants did okay. I'm not saying that softens it at all in any way, that the 2 players they got spent a ton of time on the injured list and hardly produced anything at the big league level. Not saying anything to excuse them for that, but at the same time, there's a reason there was kind of a lack of talent there. It's because a lot of teams were in the running. And it's probably more expectable with this added playoff spot, although it's only one more. It has made it interesting having 6 playoff spots, but I think even with that, like this year in particular, in the National League, it's just that there's a reason a lot of things were the way they are this year, and it's because a lot of teams are in contention for a few available playoff spots. Now we're seeing how all of this is playing out in the month of September, and it's very interesting, and the Giants just sit on the cusp of it. So the key for them is they're going to have to push through in a close race. I see a little bit of a parallel here to their 2020 situation. Maybe you just like kind of extend a thing like that into a much longer season, but that was really when they were like head to head with and neck to neck with a few other teams here, and it's just like to this day I can't figure out why they couldn't lock down a playoff spot there. It was within their grasp, but I mean that is 3 years behind us at this point, and now the Giants they have another opportunity to just sneak in and push past everybody. But it is a very interesting kind of bottled up wild card scenario here, where third place it's the D-backs and Reds. The third place is a tie in itself based on who's holding it, but the Giants could get into that mix with a win tomorrow if they just get good luck in terms of teams ahead of them losing games, but next the Giants play a 4-game series against the Rockies at Coors Field. I did want to talk briefly about that. I think that does present an advantage from the Giants, just from what I can really observe from them offense wise this year. They've just had their ups and their downs. They sometimes can like get the bat on the ball, but other times they just have these like cold days, which sometimes turn into cold streaks. As to Coors Field in particular, though, it does elevate offense, which I think that phenomenon has probably been used a little too much to excuse pitchers for having terrible outings that go beyond anything that could even be reasonably mathematically explained by the park factor. I don't think we excuse pitchers for that, but it does in its own way elevate offense. And I think that that is something that the Giants in particular are able to capitalize on. It's not going to be equal for every player and every team, but the Giants, based on what we've seen them do at their heights this year, I really see this as promising, and I really see playing there as something, one of the Giants' strengths that they can capitalize on. Of course, a thing's got to go from, I mean, with their pitching too. Like, if the pitching slumps for the same reason, those effects could cancel each other out. But I have to say, as far as net effects, and I have to say, if you subtract the damage that could be done, I think, and I couldn't get into every little particular here, but I personally think that the Giants benefit from playing at a place like Coors Field overall, and that the way it uplifts their offense and just gets things going. I think that will be strong enough, honestly, that even if the pitching is a little bit a little park factor affected a bit, I think at the end of the day, it's going to have a net benefit for the Giants in terms of in terms of marginal runs that they score. And if all goes right, they turn those runs into wins. So I do think the Giants will win this next series, and that overall the Coors Field thing is going to go well for them. And it's been a thing this year. They do seem to, in some instances, be able to make higher leverage kind of go their way. We certainly see this in extra inning games. It's been such a strength for them, but I think Coors Field's probably a thing that's like close behind extra inning games to really just have a net effect of bumping everything up for the Giants. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Also, please leave your questions and comments. You know where to do it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.